Hello, everybody. It was online. Doesn't matter. Hope everybody's having a splendid, wonderful time. I don't see anybody online, but class goes on even if I am here or not. So I'd like to say a pleasant good afternoon to everybody. We had a wonderful week. I'm sorry that we didn't do class on Tuesday. I had a little family situation. I apologize for that. But we don't have that problem today. What we're going to focus on is modalities. Modalities. Sorry if I'm so close to the camera. Okay, modalities in astrology. Oh, shucks. Forgot. So if we're looking in the book, modalities, like I said, we go regressive. We go from one to the next. And if we look at modalities, we look at page 14. Page 14. We're breaking down why certain planets and certain signs act the way they act. We're breaking it down. So I gave you the big picture, and then I'm going to break down those pictures into small pieces of puzzle so you can put it together yourself. All right? Okay, modalities. Clearly, the four elements describe four distinct personality temperaments. Alone, however, they cannot depict the richness and complexity of the astrological language. Consider, for example, the fire sign of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Though the signs comprise a common thread, the fire element, each is a unique stand. Hey, Ambi. Each is a unique strand. I don't know what mine is. Aries is the pioneer. Leo is the performer. Sagittarius, the philosopher. These differences arise because each sign manifests its fiery nature through a distinct mode. That's why it's called modalities. The 12 signs of the zodiac can be divided into three groups called modes or modalities, each of which contain 4 signs. The 3 modalities, known as cardinal, fixed, and mutable, describes a threefold cycle process. The cardinal phase initiates and generates energy, which means that it starts stuff. It corresponds with the signs Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The 3 signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Good afternoon, Gabby. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So let me explain to you the cardinal first. So the cardinal phase represents outwards, centrifugal motion corresponding to the rim. And they have a diagram. If you take a look at figure 3 on page 14, the rim, this would be considered, the outer, or what they call the rim. This is the cardinal energy. The fixed phase, well, let me continue to finish read those ones on top first. So the fixed phase stabilizes and concentrates energy and corresponds to the signs Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The mutable phase adapts and distributes energy and corresponds to the signs Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The elements and modalities may be distinguished in the following manner. The elements describe how energy manifests as form. The modalities depicts how energy manifests as movement, specifically as centrifugal or centripetal and spiralic patterns. These patterns can be portrayed through the image or of a wheel. Like you take a look at figure 3 on page 14, you're going to see the modality wheel, the rim, which is the cardinal energy. Okay. Also, like centrifugal, that is that energy. On the outside, it starts. Then it's the fixed sign, which are the centripetal, which is also known as the hub or the centerpiece. It what holds and keeps everything firm. Then you have the spokes, which is also known as the mutable or the spiralic. If you realize that it makes sense, the spokes on the wheel bends, but the center stays hardcore. And the tire or the wheel on the end is the one that actually initiates the movement or the friction between them and the ground. The hub or the fixed energy center keeps everything going stable without any kind of break. Because if you don't have that, then you don't have the wheel. So the cardinal phase represents outwards. The fixed phase symbolizes inwards, and the mutable phase symbolizes depicting the spiralic motion, corresponding to the spokes that join the hub of the rim. Now, these are the fundamental things you need to learn. These are very fundamental. It gets you to understand why an Aries act the way he does, why he, Tauruses and Scorpios could be Aquarius and also Leo can be stubborn in their own way because they're fixed. They're a fixed sign. So let's take a look at page 15. It says the cardinal sign, initiating action. The cardinal modality is expressed in 4 signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The cardinal signs correspond to centrifugal, radiating energy, which moves outward in a definite direction. The essential nature of these signs is to initiate action, start things, and to get things going. The person with an exaggeration of the cardinal modes suffers from from choosing too many activities and commitments. So, as you can see, people who have either a lot of Capricorn, a lot of Libra, a lot of Cancer, a lot of Aries in their chart like to start a lot of things and don't really like to finish. They like the excitement of starting stuff. All right. While these individuals may start a number of projects, they rarely complete them. This is what the book is saying. With a deficiency of cardinal energy in your chart, however, an individual may lack drive, initiative, and the ability to engage in purposeful activities. You ever see the people that when you look at them and they be like, yeah, just saying. It's because they don't have anything cardinal at all. They probably don't even have cardinal houses or planets in a cardinal house, which is probably be, if you look at it, the cardinal houses would be the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th house. So even if they don't have a lot of cardinal signs, if they have planets in those four houses, the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th, this can substitute a little bit of the cardinal energy of starting things. Okay? Any questions at all on the cardinal? All right. If not, let's move on to the fixed signs. The fixed sign is also known in this book as the stabilizing security. The four fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Fixed signs correspond to centripetal. Centripetal. Radiating energy moving inward towards the center. The essential nature of these signs is to preserve and sustain what was started in the cardinal phase. So when cardinal starts something, the fixed sign keeps it together. They finish them. The later draw attention, and then later draw attention to them is what the book is saying. Fixed sign exhibit persistence, endurance, and fixity of purpose. When overly fixed, however, they may become rigid, stubborn, and unyielding. Hence, their problems are usually chronic, requiring a great deal of time and energy to resolve. Those who are deficient in fixed influence often lack concentration, stamina, and perseverance. Those who are deficient in the fixed influence often lack concentration, stamina, and perseverance. When we're done with these three modalities, we're going to look at some examples. So the last one are the four mutable signs. And the four mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The mutable signs correspond to spiralic patterns of energy. The essential nature of mutable signs is to take what was initiated in cardinal and stabilized in the fixed phase, and adapt these energies to the changing condition of time and space. As the spoke of the wheel links the hub to the rim, the mutable person is the perfect go-between, making contracts and connections wherever he or she travels. Contrary to the fixed predecessor, the individual is flexible and adaptable, thriving on change and variety. Excessively mutable individuals tend to be overly changeable and restless. Hence, they need to focus on a set direction and avoid dissipating their vital forces. Mutable types can be high-strung, prone to worry, and periodically suffer from nervous exhaustion. Hence, periods of rest and relaxation are necessary to maintain balance. The immutable person may be likened to the rigid tree that is toppled by a strong gale. Rather, he or she should emulate the willow, gracefully yielding to the howling winds and thereby adapting to the forces of change. Now that we have described the modalities, read over the element modality wheel in figure 4. In addition, review the keywords for the modalities in table 5. So let's take a look at this wheel whilst we can, and the keywords, and then we're going to go into stuff. When you look at Aries, let's start at Aries. Aries is, if you take a look at page 16, sorry, one second. If you take a look at page 16, you'd see that Aries is a positive sign. It's fire, is its element, and it's cardinal. That's Aries. The sign of Aries is positive, fire, cardinal, or what we call masculine, fire, and cardinal. Okay. Okay, so give me a second, guys. Just call this person by. All right, so yeah, so if you take a look, this is why Aries acts so masculine. They have their masculine energy. Yeah, hey, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, you're into that. That's I doing the stuff for your horn and your does up your horn. I bringing you on too. Yeah. Let me call. Let me call you when I done my class. All right. Okay. When you take a look at Taurus, you'd see that it's a negative or a yin or feminine, earth, which is also material, and it's fixed, which they use the word stabilize. And it goes round and round, round and round, same way. And we look at it as a quality or the keywords for the modality. So when you're a cardinal sign, these are the keywords that you look for. Generating, these are the skillful keywords. Generating, beginning, doing, initiating, originating, enterprising, active, direct, and purposeful. The unskilled words of any cardinal signs are start but doesn't finish, impatient, dissatisfied, overactive, overcommitted, and forceful. Those are the negative sides of any cardinal sign, and those signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, or Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Taking a look at the fixed modality and their keywords. The skillful application or applicable words are concentrating, stabilizing, sustaining, finishing, establishing, preserving, and conserving. Steadfast, focused, powerful, persistent, constant, and determined. The unskillful applications are stubborn, rigid, resistant to change, stuck, obsessed, overly retentive, inert, and habit bound. Taking a look at the modality of mutability or the mutable modality. You have Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. And the skillful applications are distributing, adaptable, flexible, adjustable, connecting, linking, mental, adapting, learning, changing, versatile, and dual. The unskillful applications are what we call the negative words. Scattered, unfocused, depleted, dissipated, diffused, distracted, inconsistent, prone to worry, indecisive, restless, and unfinishing. The thing is, all of there aren't any fixed planets or fixed planets. What the planet does is, if it's sitting in a sign, it takes on the modalities of the sign. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Okay, so check this out. If you have Venus in Virgo, you know that Venus would have those mutable energy. So in relationships, they would be more so, you know, adaptable, flexible. All the keywords that you see would be, you would add that to the planet Venus. So you say, Venus in Virgo, this person could be mental in their relation. They think first. You could say they could be versatile. You could use stuff like they could be changing, constant change in some form or fashion. Distributing, which means they give. So Virgo likes to give their service. My Venus in Virgo, that is, in relationships, in partnerships. If it was used in a negative form, you would say that this person would be worry prone in their relationship. See, Venus isn't really comfortable in Virgo. It isn't. So you wouldn't necessarily get a lot of the skillful stuff. You would get you get half of maybe the skillful and the unskillful. Hey, what's going on, Philly? Good afternoon. So like all the Venuses that have, mutable signs, Venus in Virgo, Venus in Pisces, Venus in Sagittarius, Venus in Gemini, these words are applicable. But for Virgo, which is, it's in not in its best sign, it's in its fall. So it would have sort of like, prone to worry, could be indecisive, restless in their relationship, distracted, diffused, depleted, unfocused, scattered, all of these things. Now, if they're sitting in a good house, the house that Venus loves, then they could, give off the skillful. The skillful words was just like, distributing in relationship. They're very adaptable in relationship, very flexible in relationships. And it's the same way with different planets. So let's take a look at Mars. If we take a look at Mars sitting inside the sign of Aries, we'll say Aries. Let's use the mutable sign again. If Mars is sitting inside Pisces, when it comes to their ambition, because Mars necessarily won't be so, out there in the sign of Pisces. It could be very much worrisome, but it can also be adaptable because it isn't in its element, but it also is not in its element, so it's in between. I call this neutral. So it could give off all of the unskillful energy and the skillful. So a person with Mars in Pisces would be like very mental when it comes to their drive, their ambition. They could be very much versatile when it comes to dealing with things like competition and challenges. They can also be very indecisive and worry. People have Mars in Pisces. Why? Because it's neutral there, so it can manifest as any of those. Mars in Pisces can also be unfocused, just the same way as the unskillful. And inconsistent. All of these are Mars in Pisces. I'm just giving you examples of how a planet would do inside a sign that's mutable. Let me give you another thing, another really close to home for you guys. The sun. Let's just say your sun is in Gemini. Gemini and the sun, it's a comfortable place for the sun to be. So it can have stuff like it could be very adaptable. Gemini. You could say that this person was sun in Gemini. We don't do sun sign astrology, but I can tell you, person we have a core, and that core is they can be very adaptable, very flexible, very adjustable, very connecting, linking. They can be very mental, adaptable, learning, changing, versatile, and dual. As you can see, all those words are very connected to persons who have sun in Gemini, because those words are the core of those persons, the sun. Let's give another example. The sun in Sagittarius. This person can be, adaptable, flexible, mental, versatile. They could be dual. They could be adjustable. All these things is because, of that mutable energy that Sagittarius brings. All right? Also, and learning. This is why, Gemini needs to know things, and Virgo people need to learn and know things, and all these, that's the planet, that's the sign. These are the signs that are learning once they're in their element. The planet's in that. So they're suddenly based the position of mutability, like Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo. They can have all those traits. Another thing is the unskillful application are also available to them. So a person that has Sun in Gemini can also be scattered, unfocused, depleted, worried, indecisive, restless, unfinishing, inconsistent, diffused. Same way as Sun in Sagittarius. Once they're not applying, they can be the same way. Scattered, unfocused, depleted, dissipated, diffused, distracted, inconsistent, prone to worry, indecisive, restless, and unfinishing. And that could be applied to a person as Sun in Virgo as well. Think about it. Sun in Virgo can be scattered, unfocused, depleting, prone to worry, inconsistent, indecisive, restless, unfinishing. So even though they are different elements, their modalities bring them a commonality. Am I making sense of it to you guys? Because pretty quiet. Do you have any questions? Well, let's take a look at fixed signs, or the fixed modality. And that's Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. Or in order, we could say it like this: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. These are the fixed signs. Also, today's lesson is modalities. Modalities are the modalities of astrology are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. They have three modalities, and every sign falls underneath these three modalities. What we're doing is we're looking at, oh yeah, you don't have to pay it, you don't have to, I forget you don't have the book. I may have to give you this book. Or I'm going to just take a picture. Take a picture, send it to you. Okay? So we're looking at modalities. So let's take a look at the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The skillful application of these signs are concentrating, stabilizing, sustaining, finishing, establishing, preserving, conserving, steadfast, focused, powerful, persistent, constant, and determined. The negative, or what we call unskillful application or applicable words, are stubborn, rigid, resistant to change, stuck, obsessed, overly retentive, inert, habit bound. Let's use an example of a planet in these signs. We're going to use the same planets we used before, which is Venus. We start off with Venus. So if Venus was sitting in the sign of Taurus, we could say that these persons, and these are keywords like I said you could use, this person is very concentrated into their relationship. They're very focused on their relationship. They like stable relationships. They like sustaining stable relationships. They like sticking to their relationship until it's finished. They like establishing stable, sustainable relationships. They like their relationship to be preserved. They're very conservative when it comes to their relationships. You see how all of the words can be applied to Venus and Taurus. Because Venus is very much in its own sign. Those words can be expressed freely without thinking that you can, but take in mind, Venus in Taurus can also have, to a lesser extent, these words. They can be stubborn in relationships, rigid in relationships, resistant to change in their relationships, stuck in their relationships, obsessed over their relationships, overly retentive of their relationships, habit bound while being in their relationships. See, I'm using the Venus energy. This could also be applied to their assets. Person of Venus and Taurus can be concentrated on making assets, focused on stabilizing their assets. They like their to keep a sustained amount of assets. They like establishing business and money. They can be very preserving of their assets. Another thing is, when you're looking at the negative side, you could say, when it comes to their assets, they could be very, very stubborn. They could be obsessed over their own things. They are resistant to change when it comes to these assets that they have. They like sticking or stuck in the mud, like how they say, a stick in the mud. Keeping a rigid system when it comes to their assets. Taking a look at Venus and Scorpio. We could take a look at that and we could apply those exact same words to somebody who has Venus and Scorpio. We could say, boy, these persons are very concentrating when they're in relationships. They love, they're all or nothing. They like establishing long-term or preserve relationships. They are very steadfast in their relationships. They enjoy powerful relationships. They're very persistent and very constant and determined in their relationships. These are people who have Venus in Scorpio. On the flip side, on a negative aspect, they can be very stubborn in their relationship, very rigid in their relationship, resistant to change in their relationship. They can become obsessed over their relationships, retentive in their relationship, and habit bound in their relationships. So when you get these keywords that are connected to the mutable signs and the fixed signs and the cardinal signs, you could basically put a language by applying the words that represent the planet and connecting them with the mutable part of that sign and the element of that sign. So it's like you're having a conversation with just words, and people think that you're doing something miraculous. And all you're doing is memorizing keywords that are very, very much true to each planet, every modality, every element. All these things, like I said, once you keep those words, those keywords, so the important figure is keywords. Remember your keywords. So I can look at somebody's chart and be like, oh, you got Venus in Taurus? Oh, you like to make sure you sometimes you stick in relationships longer than you should. What you do is you take your time before you come into a relationship. But when you do, nobody can change your mind. You're very steadfast on that relationship. To the point where you could be rigid, not really changing anything. You could be a little stuck in the mud in your relationship. And see, by using those keywords, you can develop your lingo, your interpretations, and they flow very smoothly. Keywords, very important. I'll give you another example. Venus in Aquarius. Person said, okay. Venus in Aquarius is a little awkward. But still, they're very concentrated or concentrating of their assets. They like finishing things in their relationships. They enjoy focused relationships. They can be very determined on getting what they want in their relationship. They can be stubborn, meaning that you can't really tell them what to do. They will do the opposite, which is still stubborn. They are resistant to change. So all these things could be applied to that as well. Like I say, just study the keywords of the modality of fixed and mutable. Let me use another planet before we get onto the cardinal, and then we're going to look at how many planets in your chart, how many planets in your chart are either fixed, either mutable, or either cardinal. And we're going to take a look and we're going to do a calculations on each of you whilst we're in class. Looking at the cardinal modality. Oh, well, let's get back. What's going on, everyone? Nice to have you, sir. So let me give an example of the fixed sun. Because let me give an example of a Taurus. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'm glad you're here. The sun, in the sign of Taurus, this person can be very stable, very sturdy, very powerful, persistent, consistent, determined. They can also be very stubborn, stuck, rigid, resistant to change. So all these things, as you can see, Scorpio, or the sun in Leo or Aquarius. These 4 signs are fixed signs. Let's take a look at, like I started, the cardinal signs. And those signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. It's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The skillful applications would be generating, beginning, doing, initiating, originating, enterprising, active, direct, and purposeful. Some unskillful words or unskillful applicable words would be start but doesn't finish, impatient, dissatisfied, overactive, overcommitted, and forceful. As you can see, those words are serious. So let's take a look at the sign that's here. And we take a look at Venus again. Let's use Venus. I like using Venus so because people can relate to Venus because Venus, you know, people like assets and they like relationships. So let's just use Venus. A person has Venus in the sign of Aries because Venus is not very comfortable in Aries. They like this person has Venus in Aries. They can become very dissatisfied with their relationships. They can be very impatient on establishing relationships. They can overreact to small things of their relationships. They can start off seemingly over committed to relationships. They can be very forceful in their relationship. People have Venus in Aries. Take in mind that they can have these skillful applications, which are they like to begin relationships. They like initiating relationships. This is why whenever when I got into astrology, really when I started to read, I used to say, okay, you have Venus in Aries. There's a possibility that you're prone to having short crushes, where you're so attracted to this person and then a little bit you're like, I'm not really interested. Let me give you a little tidbit that's not connected to this. People who have Venus in Aries, if it's too easy for them, if it doesn't give the energy of Aries, which is a challenge, they tend to back away from that. They need a little bit of friction. Anyway, that's just a little tidbit. Also, people who have, let's use another one. Let's use Mars. Somebody has Mars and Aries. Mars also represents, the sex organ, so we could use that. Somebody who has Mars and Aries can be very impatient when it comes to the direct force of their sexual nature. They can be very overactive, very forceful. They like starting stuff. They like being very direct, very purposeful. So all these things to be connected to Mars, and especially when it comes to like their ambition, it's the same way. You guys have any questions? Remember now, like I said, keywords, very important. This is where I get you guys to, if you get a pen and paper, I want you to write out your planets. That's the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Get those 10 planets. You're going to give 2 points to the Sun, 2 points to the Moon, and the other planets, 1 point. What you're going to do is you're going to separate the planets, the signs that they are in, and give, if your planet, let me give you an example, if your Sun is in the sign of Aries, and we all know Aries is a cardinal sign, we would say Sun 2, or you say, Sun, or you say mutable 2. So the mutable sign would already have 2 points because of your sun being in a, sorry, not mutable, a cardinal sign of Aries would have two. So you say cardinal, 2 points. If your moon is inside the sign of Libra, you'd say, okay, that's also 2 points for Libra. So that's 4 points for cardinal. You take a look at your Pluto, if it's in Scorpio, it's in fixed. So you'd say Pluto is 1 point in fixed. Do a calculation of all of your planets. This means that you need to know your chart. Or, if you have your phone, pull it up and do the mathematics on them, please. And this is to be done and while you're talking to me. I don't need no more homework. I need for you guys to do that now so I can know that you're understanding what a mutable planet, a cardinal planet, and a fixed, sorry, mutable sign, cardinal sign, and a fixed sign. So do your maths on that. So let me give an example of mine so you can get where I'm coming from. Yes, the sun, yes. Yes, sun and moon are 2 points. So for me, I have sun in Scorpio. That's 2 points for fixed. My moon is in Sagittarius. That's 2 points for mutable. So I already have 2 points in fixed, 2 points in mutable. My Mercury is in Scorpio. That's 1. So that's 3 in fixed. So you do the math just like that. My Venus is in Sagittarius. So that's 1 point extra for mutable. So I got 3 fixed and 3 mutable. All right? And you say, okay, my Mars is in Virgo. That's a mutable sign. So I have 4 points in mutable. My Jupiter is in Virgo. That's another mutable sign. So that's 5 points in mutable. My Saturn is in Virgo. That's another mutable sign. That's 6 points in mutable. My Uranus is in Scorpio. So I say, that's a fixed sign. So that's 6 for mutable. And now that's 4 for fixed. Looking at my Neptune is in Sagittarius. That's another planet for mutable. That's another sign for mutable. So I said that's 7 mutable points versus 4 fixed. And then we have Pluto. And Pluto is in Libra, which means that it's a cardinal. So my cardinal has 1 sign. My fixed has 4. And my mutable has 7 points. I would say, based upon that, I am more of a mutable person with a balance of fixed, with a need to have more cardinal, which means, starting stuff and being very much about it. When you guys do the maths, let me know. And then what I would do is I will show you how and why. Because, even though I'm mutable, I also have a lot of cardinal placements. And these are the houses. Because not only do you have cardinal signs, but you also have cardinal houses. Okay? So we're going to do the planets in the sign first. And when you've done the math, just type it and let me know. Let me give you an example of how the placements or the houses itself. The 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th house are cardinal houses. The 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th house are cardinal houses. So we take a look at, do I have any planets in the 1st house? No, I don't. But I have my rising sign. Oh, guys, terribly sorry. Also add to your rising sign 2 points as well. If you can remember your rising sign, add rising 2 points to your rising sign. So that would make me have, sorry, I would have 6 points for my fixed, and 7 for my mutable. I mean, 7 for my mutable, and for my cardinal I'll have 1. If you can remember your rising sign, add your rising sign to that, please. And the rising sign gets 2 points. So while you guys are doing that, let me explain to you about the signs, I mean the houses. The houses can also be cardinal houses. The first house, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th. So the ones that make the T, one over here, the first house, the fourth to the bottom, the 7th house, and the 10th house. Those are cardinal houses. When you're done with the counting of those mutable, the fixed, and the cardinal signs and planets in the signs, do your calculations, and then we're going to do the calculations of your houses, the planets in the houses. So the first, the fourth, the 7th, and the 10th are cardinal. The second, the 5th, the 8th, and the 12th house, and the 11th house are fixed signs. The second, the 5th, the 8th, and the 11th house are fixed houses. Then you get the mutable houses, which are the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, and the 12th. The mutable houses, which are the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, and the 12th. And this could actually balance off if you have too much mutable or too much fixed or too much cardinal. The placements itself in those houses can balance off that a bit. So seeing that I don't have a lot of, what's the word I want to use? Cardinal. Because, my the rising sign always counts as 2. It's always going to be in a cardinal sign because it's on the first house. So, how many planets do I have in a fixed house, the second house? I have 1, Mars, I have Jupiter, I have Saturn sitting there. So those are 3 points. 3 points for fixed houses. Take a look at how many planets I have in my 3rd house. I only have Pluto in my 3rd house. So that's 1, 4 for my mutable house. Okay, you finished first. You have 6 fixed, 4 mutable, and 4 cardinal. That's pretty much almost a balance, only because of the fixed, I think. And that's because we added the rising sign to that, correct? Right, so you're still, balanced. You're pretty much, a balanced energy of all mutable, cardinal, and fixed. Anybody else is finished? Okay, so like I was saying, my 4th house is the cardinal house, and I have Sun, Mercury, and Uranus there. So that's Sun is 2, Mercury makes 3, and Uranus 4. That's 4 points for cardinal. And then I have in the fixed house of my 5th house, I have Venus, Neptune, and my Moon, which is 2 for the Moon, 1 for Venus, and 1 for Neptune. So that's 4 in a fixed house. I have a lot of fixed energy. You feel me? A lot of fixed energy. Anybody else finish? Sorry, look at my laptop. What was I doing? All right. Oh, okay. So the instructions is that you're gonna take a look at the planets in your house. I mean the planets in the sign in your chart. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the sun, the rising, and the moon, and take a look at if they're in a cardinal, in a fixed, or in a mutable sign. And those three positions of your chart, you're going to give 2 points each. The other planets, you're going to give 1 point. All right? So let's say, for example, let me use your chart, for example. You have your moon in Aquarius, that's 2 points. And you have your sun in Aquarius, that's 2 points. Both of them are fixed sign. Aquarius is a fixed sign, so that means you have 4 points for fixed. So you put 4 points. So you put moon is 2, sun is 2, in a fixed sign. And then you have, different placements like a Venus. If your Venus is at a mutable sign and Mars is a mutable sign, so that's 2 points for mutable. And you're going to calculate how many points you have for mutable, cardinal, and fixed. And we're going to take a look at a celebrity. One celebrity today in their chart. Just choose any celebrity and I'll go with that. And we can take a look and we're gonna look at their modalities and see what, how are they balanced. Since you've been looking at Kanye, let's look at Kanye. He's a strange character. I like studying strange people. All right. According to this, Kanye West has his sun in Gemini. So let me get a pen. So Kanye West altogether it should be 14. Remember I said the rising sign gets 2 points as well. So it should be 14. Correct? 12? 2, 4, 6. So let me write down. Kanye West has the sun. So you can see what I'm doing. Sun in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is a mutable sign. So he has it in a mutable. And that's 2 points. So we're going to do all this mutable one time. He also has Jupiter, and that's 1 point in Gemini. So Jupiter is in Gemini. Which is equal to 1 point. Oh, so it is 12. I mean, it's for you have 6 mutable, 6 cardinal. What? Say what? 6 fixed, 6 mutable, and 2 cardinal. Okay, that's okay. What else he has in cardinal? I mean, in mutable. So he has Gemini. The 4 sides of the mutable are Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and Sagittarius. He has Moon in Pisces. So Moon in Pisces, which is equal to 2 points mutable. And he has Neptune in Sagittarius. In Sag. So I would say Kanye West has 2, 4, 6 mutable. 6 mutable planets. Let's look at what he has as cardinal. And cardinal are Cancer, Libra. So let's just start at the beginning. Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Okay? And his rising sign is Cancer. So he has rising sign. Is in Cancer. 4 fixed, 6 mutable, 4 cardinal. His rising sign is in Cancer. So that's 2 points. He also has in the sign of Libra Pluto. So that's in Libra. And Libra is a cardinal sign. In Libra. Which is 1 point. The other cardinal sign, which is Capricorn, he has none of that. And in Aries, he has none of that as well. So he has 1, 2, 2 cardinal signs. 2 cardinal signs. Take a look at what he has fixed. He has Saturn in Leo. That's 1. It's 1 point. He also has Uranus in Scorpio, which is another 1 point. He has that's about it. He doesn't have any other sign. And he also has Venus and Mars in Taurus. Just 1 and Mars in Taurus, which is equal to 1. So we could say that 1, 2, 3, 4, the Sun, 2, rising 2. We're missing a planet, aren't we? Mercury, he also has Mercury there as well, in Taurus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So his energy is looking like 5 fixed, 3 cardinal, and 6 mutable. So he has, as you can see, 6 mutable, 3 cardinal, and 5 fixed. And that looks about right. If you take a look at Kanye West, he's very adaptable. He could, you know, but he's also very stubborn. And you also say, well, what about him? He likes to start things. And what I can tell you is this. What you do is you take a look at the placements, houses. So now you guys already done that, right? Take a look at the houses that your planets are sitting in. The 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th are cardinal houses. If you have the sun in either the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, or the 10th, you can give the fixed house 2 points. Same way as the moon. If you have other planets in the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th, give each of those other planets 1 point. And then you know how you are based upon the placements of those planets. What we're doing is quick maths, so you can know why you act the way you act. Because even though, if you take a look at this, you say that Kanye West don't have a lot of cardinal, but he like to start things. And you try to figure, well, this doesn't make sense, because according to this, according to this, it's just showing that, he don't do much finishing. Starting. But if you look at his chart, you'd see that he has a lot of placements that would say different. Okay, so the instructions are, so let me explain the houses. So I'm going to draw the most ugliest chart known to mine, but I expect for you to follow. All right? Take in mind, I did warn you, this is the ugliest chart known to mine, okay? All right, so this is the chart. This is the first house. This would be considered a cardinal house. So you got the cardinal house, first house, okay? Second house will be known as a fixed house. The one after that, which is the third, will be known as a mutable house. After that, it starts again. The fourth house, cardinal. After that, the fifth house, fixed. After that, the seventh house, which is, the sixth house, which is mutable. Oh, I write that upside down. The seventh house, cardinal again. The eighth house, fixed. Ninth house, mutable. 10th house, cardinal. 11th house, fixed. Sorry about that. You're a busy woman. When you're the boss, people will rely on you. And then mutable. So let me try to make sense of this. So this is how the chart looks. Excuse my doctor's handwriting. So you have the cardinal, which is the first house, second, fixed, third, mutable, the fourth, cardinal, fixed, fifth, sixth, yeah, don't worry about that. That's mutable again. Cardinal, and it goes four and four. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take and look at your chart, and you're gonna say, like me personally, I have. Everybody's gonna start off with 2 points for their cardinal because the rising sign is on the cardinal, right? So I'd say rising. My rising is the cardinal. So that's 2 points. In my second house, I have Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So that's 1, 2, 3. So I'd say that's 3 points in this house. In my third house, I have Pluto, and that would be 1 point. In my fourth house, I have Mercury, Sun, and Uranus. That's Sun is 2 points, Mercury is another one, and Uranus is another one. So that's 4 points in that house. Okay? In my fifth house, I have Venus, Neptune, and the moon. The moon gets 2 points. Venus and Neptune get 1 each, so that's 4 points. So we take a look and we say, hold on, let me look at how many cardinals I have. I have 2 in the first, which is rising, and I have 4 in the fourth. So that's 2 and 4 is 6. So I'd say I have 6 cardinal points for house placements. So for cardinal, I have 6 points. Take a look at my fixed, which is 3 in the second house. And that's it. So I say I have 3 fixed planets or fixed house planets in the fixed houses. I can take a look at my mutable, and I'd see that I only have 1 planet in my mutable. So I go 1 in my mutable. I think I'm missing 1. 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. I think I'm missing 1. Hold on. 1. Okay, that's 2. That's 4. Yeah. I got 2. Okay. Yeah, I Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, 3. Pluto, 1. Oh, so fixed I have 7. Sorry. Fixed I have 7. Is it making sense to what I'm saying to you guys? So even though in my regular chart I don't have a lot of cardinal placements, I don't have a lot of cardinal signs or planets and cardinal signs, I have a lot of cardinal placements, a lot of cardinal points. So that will be applied to me. And when you've done that, add your cardinal placements with your with your cardinal houses, the planets in the houses, and see how much total cardinal energy you have. Right. So, right. Good job. So we're doing that. You take a look at, so add the numbers of the ones you did first to the ones you just did just now. And you would see which one is your most dominant modality. And I could bet my bottom dollar, Philly, that yours is fixed. Do the maths on it, you'll see. When you do the maths, you see that your most dominant modality. Because in here you said you rechecked and you have 6 mutable. You got 6 mutable, 6 fixed, and 2 cardinal. And then later on, you said you had 6 cardinal. So that would be 6 plus 2 is 8 cardinals. 8 cardinal. Right. So you did the maths. You have 8 cardinal, 13 fixed, and 8 mutable. Which means that you're more of a fixed person. Take a look, and what you do is most of the fixed placement or the fixed words that we were looking at would apply to you a lot more than the others. You take a look, you say, okay, so you're very concentrating, very stabilizing, very sustaining, establishing, preserving, conservative, steadfast, focused, powerful, persistent, constant, determined. The unskillful words also apply to you more than the rest because you have more points in that placement, which would be stubborn, rigid, resistant to change, stuck, obsessed, overly retentive, inert, and habit bound. Does it sound about right? A rule, let's take a look at yours. Candy, did you get where I'm coming from when we talk about the examples? I don't want you to get left behind. Oh, you got it. Okay. So yours is, these are the houses, or these are the, let me help you out a bit. Let me see if I can take a look at yours. And do a little cheating because I'm going to look in my charts. Is everything okay? That's fine. I understand. I totally, I understand. I understand. Okay. Can I get a look for your chart, okay? I understand. I know you explained to me and I understand completely. Good night. Okay. Okay, so Kenny, let me help you with yours. I think you probably already got it. So you have your rising sign and a cardinal sign in a cardinal house. So we'll give that so that's 2 and 3. That's 6. We'll say 6 altogether for the cardinal. Wait, no. Let me do this math. 2. We got 2, 3, 4. 4 cardinal. Take a look at your fix. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fixed. And taking a look at your mutable. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. mutable. Okay. And then when it comes to the placements, I think what you said is correct. Yeah, so you have 4 fixed, which is 1. No, you actually have 5 fixed because you have Saturn in the sign of Scorpio. So you have 5. So it's 5 fixed. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cardinal as well. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 4 cardinal. And then you have how many mutable? 1, 2. Yeah. 5. Let me see. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So you have 8, 10, and 10. You have 10 fixed, 10 mutable, and 8 cardinal. And that's pretty balanced. So all of those apply to you. You get where I'm coming from? All of those keywords of all those apply to you. You could fit anywhere. People like you could go anywhere, blend with anybody, anytime. All right, that brings us to the end of the class for the day. You can go ahead and start your book and finish off page 17. I'm going to send you the book, the picture. All right, Philly, I'm going to send you the picture so you can be able to. We're going to try a catch-up class, and we're going to finish. We did the polarities. We're just going to do the orientation. We're going to do the orientation next week. We have the modalities, the 4 elements, and we did the yang. All right? Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in. What you can do is you can take a look at, other people's chart and see how, why they act the way they act when it comes to who they are. It makes you to understand who they are and, not to be so, not to say that you can accept everything what they do or how they act, but it makes you understand them a bit more. All right? I hope you learned something today. And you're going to learn something next week. You got this whole week without homework. Because you only give me your homework yet. Only 3 people. So I need the rest to help give me my homework. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night. And good night.